What that means is if you go into any other tourism cavern in Texas, this is the largest room that you'll encounter. This one's about 100 feet tall, 100 feet wide, and about 350 feet long. We're currently standing 135 feet underground. Now, as we came through that passageway, you may have noticed that we didn't have to do any kind of carving or blasting to open that up. That passageway was as is as we found it. All we had to do was lay down some pathways and install some lights. Now again, that's because of that clay bed. It sits atop of both of those passageways. So our explorers originally came through Grindle's Canyon, but on later explorations, they found the Emerald Lake Passageway, and now we're able to take tours through that instead of having to route our tours through Grindle's Canyon. Now as I look at this room, you'll notice that the ceiling here is different than the ceilings in all of the other rooms. This is because the ceiling is shaped like a dome. We call this a breakout dome because of the way that the ceiling formed. Originally, this ceiling had several intersecting vertical joints, those large cracks in the ceiling, and it made the ceiling very unstable. At the time, the entire room was filled with water and the ceiling was much lower, and the water acted as a buoyancy factor and it kept the ceiling up, so our ceiling was floating right on top of that water. Now that water didn't stay in here, it eventually went down into the aquifer that's below us, and as that occurred, the ceiling could no longer support itself, and it started to fall away layer by layer, until it hit that very stable layer at the top and stabilized into the breakout dome that we have today. If you look up, you can see some of the layers that fell away. For example, there's one here, as well as one here, and these go all the way up to the top of the room. And if you look down around, you can see pieces of the ceiling that fell down. We call them burst down. There's several large chunks right here, as well as over here. Now as we make our way up, you can see a formation that we call the fried egg. Now I had cake bacon earlier, it's time for fried eggs. Now they're about halfway up on the left-hand side. There's a large collection up there, even though fried eggs are all over in this room. And these formed because water drifts from so high up in this room that when the water droplets hit these formations, all the calcite's able to stick in the center, creating a very dense deposit of calcite. One of the natural colors of calcite is yellow, so the center of these formations are yellow. They've got a cream outer ring, and they look pretty similar to a fried egg if you look at them from the top down. Again, they're about halfway up on the left-hand side. There's a little sign to point them out, but I'll try to stop at that point in the trail, turn on my speaker, and show you where they're located. This is the most strenuous part of the tour that we're going to be walking today. Make sure you take slow, small steps and hold on to the handrails. And as always, keep in mind that we do not allow you to touch formations, walls, or ceilings. Do you have any questions before we keep walking? All right, here we go.